Welcome to One Bite is Everything, the podcast that connects every bite you take to the bigger world, sparking curiosity and inspiring you to ask more questions about the food on your plate. I am your host, Dana DePrima, bringing you thought-provoking episodes like this one and interviews with thought leaders who help us understand this complex, interconnected world of food. Today, we're tackling a question I know that you have wondered about. Why does local food cost more? I get this question all the time. How are we going to save small farms and make local food a priority when not everyone can afford it? And even folks who can afford it, the question is, why does it cost more? Today, we dive into this question and answers that run deep, way beyond your wallet. By the end of this episode, you'll understand the real reasons behind the price tags, why this matters to you, and how making small shifts in your food choices can create a ripple effect for your health, your community, and the planet. Let's dive in. Let's start here. Imagine you're at a farmer's market or browsing the local section of your grocery store. If you have a local section. You spot a bag of carrots from a nearby farm and it's $4. Right next to it, there's a bag of carrots trucked in from across the country for $1.99. Your brain says, carrots are carrots, right? Why pay double? Here's the thing. It's not just about the carrots. It's about everything that went into producing them. First, consider scale. Industrial farms grow crops in massive quantities, often using methods that deplete the soil, rely on cheap labor, and benefit from subsidies that make their products artificially cheap. Local farmers, on the other hand, operate on smaller scales, which means they don't have the same economies of scale or financial support. And if they're operating without chemical herbicides and pesticides, the labor that goes into growing those carrots is more. For weeding and getting rid of pests. And while industrial farms may prioritize quantity, local farms focus on quality, healthier soil, fewer chemicals, and better tasting produce. Those values take time, labor, and care, all of which come at a cost. When you buy local, you're paying for so much more than the food itself. Let's break this down. Fair wages. Small farms are more likely to pay fair wages to their workers. They don't rely on the same exploitative practices that often keep food prices artificially low. Environmental stewardship. Local farms tend to prioritize sustainable practices, crop rotation, organic methods, cover crops, protecting pollinators, all of which take more effort and resources. Beyond the soil, local food travels an average of 50 miles versus the 1,500-mile average of food in your supermarket. Those miles, which translate to gas in the tank, add up very quickly environmentally. Freshness and nutrition. Local food is picked at peak ripeness and travels shorter distances, which means it's fresher and often more nutrient-dense. That is not just marketing, it's science. Community investment. When you buy local, your dollars stay in your community. As a matter of fact, research shows that 62 cents of every dollar you spend at a farmer's market stays in your community versus 15 cents of every dollar that you spend in the supermarket. They support your local economy, your neighbors, and even public goods like schools and infrastructure. So when you see a higher price tag on that bag of carrots, it's because you're paying for these benefits, ones that the industrial food system is not delivering. Now let's zoom out for a second. Why is this conversation so important? The food system is broken. We're depleting our soil, pumping our food full of chemicals, and propping up a system that prioritizes profit over people. Local food isn't just a luxury, it's a lifeline. It represents a way to push back against a system that isn't serving farmers, consumers like you, or the planet. When you support local food, you're investing in something better. You're saying, I value food that nourishes me, strengthens my community, and protects the planet for future generations. And it doesn't have to be all or nothing. I'm not saying that you have to swap out every single item in your kitchen for local. Small changes add up. So, what can you do about this? Let me leave you with a few actionable steps. Start small. Pick 1 or 2 items that you buy regularly, maybe apples, bread, cheese, maybe eggs, and switch to a local option. Ask questions. The next time you're at your farmer's market or even your grocery store, strike up a conversation. Ask about where the food comes from and how it's produced. Get involved. Look for local food initiatives in your community. That could mean visiting a farmer's market, joining a CSA or community-supported agriculture where you get a subscription for vegetables or meat or milk or something else, or even growing a few herbs or vegetables at home. That's a real eye-opener. You can also share the story. One of the biggest barriers to local food is awareness. Tell your friends and family why you're making these choices. It's not about guilt tripping. It's about inspiring them to think differently. Here's the bottom line. Local food isn't just about what's on your plate. It's about the bigger picture. It's about rethinking what we value in our food system and putting our dollars towards something that's better for everyone. If you really want to get into this and make local food a part of your life, why don't you join me and thousands of people across the country who have started the Local Food Challenge? It's a monthly program with some fun activities that dissect the local food conundrum and give you a monthly aha that you really can sink your teeth into. You can sign up to get started anytime at thelocalfoodchallenge.com. That's thelocalfoodchallenge.com. Thanks for joining me today on One Bite is Everything. I am your host, Dana DePrima. Remember, every bite connects you to the bigger world. I'll see you next week with another thought-provoking episode. Until then, keep asking questions. See you soon.